Okay, we are recording. Okay, so I'll start over really quick and I'll go do it faster. Um, After talking last week and some of us just wanting to come in and have accountability, hey, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm doing, I need ideas on this or that. I have a client that's wanting this. So I figured I would do a just 30 minutes of where we're at, what we're working on, what we're struggling with. Just kind of a real quick thing. And so it's going to be a reflect on what we did, in the last week, the last couple weeks, where it's like, okay, that worked, that worked, that worked, that didn't work so much. As we try new things with our social media, in our warm markets, meeting people, and different conversations that we're all having that we can kind of bounce off and use with each other. We're going to have a do where I give you one little task to do next week. It's nothing, it's not going to, it shouldn't add to anything extra that you're already doing. It should just be a validation that you can confidently knock off your to-do list, your DMO. Um, and then we're going to declare that by next Monday, whenever we come in, that, hey, I did it. This worked. This was awesome. Or, sometimes we post things, we do call to actions and crickets. It didn't work. My audience doesn't care about that. They're, whatever the case may be, and then whether it's wording, the picture that you use didn't catch an eye or certain things like that. So the one thing that I do go by is the 3 by 3 rule. Um, so I like to reach out to 3 people that have engaged on any of my posts. Um, First of all, I am in professional mode, so I do have a lot of non-followers that watch my stuff. I actually have more non-followers that watch my reels, my videos, and my posts that engage with me than my followers, which I'm assuming that those go ahead.
Is that for Facebook?
Yes.
Facebook, and is it you said it's a business
So no,
account? It's a
this
regular
is
account,
yeah,
personal.
this is my
Okay.
regular personal account that I set in professional mode. Um, and I'm
Oh,
I'm work go ahead.
I've never heard of that. A personal account that you said as a professional mode?
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yep,
that's the
it's
way they were. Like, I need to back this train up and learn
yeah.
that.
So
Helps you
we
copy
can
content too.
yeah, we can work on that. And what I can do is I can make a quick little video and I'll put it because I don't vote. I post in the bronze builders, the silver builders, and the bookers chat. I feel like that's where I'm going to get the majority of this. For some of us that are, we're still trying to grasp things and feel things out so that you can reach uh different markets. You're posting in your group, you're part of groups and you're posting in those and things like that. And once you post in those group and you're engaging in those groups, just personal related, not even talking about the business and things like that, then your Facebook feed starts popping up in these people that are in all these other groups. So it reaches their network in a sense. And that's how you start building that community and you start gaining more followers in that area. Um, so I'll do a short little snippet on how to go into professional mode and how to just get an eye-catching bio.
Oh, helpful.
Using ChatGPT was it was a really good one, a really good idea.
I saw that one. I like that one. I
Yeah,
always stop and read your posts on the vacay vibes or whatever.
yeah,
Just
cool.
so you
Thank you.
know, I'm watching. They help.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do, and I think of you. I was like, oh my God, this would be a really when something is broken down pretty. I was like, this is a good one. This is explains it really well. Um, so yeah, so I reach out to 3 people that engage, 3 people that I'm not necessarily friends with, and when you go and you click, you see the like button on your post, and it shows you all the people that have light hearted, angry face, sad, care, whatever. It shows there'll be a list on the column that says invite. And I go and I invite them to like my page to become a new follower. So then they start seeing my posts regular, regular, regular. And I engaged, I was like, hey, I noticed that you liked my post. Do you like to travel a lot? Where are some cool places that you've been? And I leave it at that. I don't say you want to be an agent, you want to be, you're going to get in the travel business, blah, 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 and attack on. I just start that general conversation because once I invite them and they go and look at my profile, then they'll see, oh, a lot of people that I'm sure that y'all have asked, I still get it. Travel agents are a thing. There's still travel agents out there. Yes. And we know what we're doing. So, three people that engaged in my post for that week. I reach out to three past clients. And this can be three past clients, this could be three business partners, but I reach out to three people that even have either, ghosted me or couldn't book that trip at the time. They're like, hey, thank you for checking on that. We're going to hold off, we're going to wait. And I just pop in and I'm like, hey, how have you been? How are things going? And I'll either find like a hot deal or, like some cruise deal. We get, if y'all's email is anything like mine, there's always something geared towards someone coming in the hot box. So I'm like, hey, I thought of you. And so just reach out to three people from the past that you have worked with, attempted to work with, or have even said to you in person, oh my God, that's awesome. I need to get with you on this trip. And then you never hear from them again. So reaching out and reminding them, hey, remember that time we talked? I'm still here. Um, and then I get in contact with three warm prospects. And this is for my business. These are people that are like, oh my gosh, check back with me in a couple of months. Life's busy right now. This is happening, this is happening. And well, school is out for the summer. So if you reached out to anyone between January and February and they're like, oh my gosh, I've got to graduate, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Well, summer, here it is. All of our teachers are out on summer break. They're like, hey, let me get through this testing or let me get through that. Um, so reaching out to three warm prospects and just be like, hey, I'm just circling back around. You had mentioned that you were in the travel business, and I was curious if that's still something that you're interested in. And then I would like to invite you to either a vendor pop-up that you're doing soon in your area, if they're local, an opportunity call, or something like that to get the or hey, did I need to send you the video again if you sent them a video, something like that. So that's my 3 by 3 rule that I do at least at least try to knock it out once a week and keep that conversation going to, I don't try to overwhelm myself and do that every day because then not everyone works on social media like we do. So people get busy, people have lives, and things like that. And not only that, if you, let's see, 3 times 7 is 21. If I have 21 brand new conversations starting, then chances are someone's going to fall through the cracks. So I am a slow and low. There are days that I'm in the mood, I'm in the groove, and the chats are flowing, people are communicating with you and things like that. And that's, 3 doesn't have to be the maximum, but at least the minimum on that. Um, so with that being said, rolling into our do, we're going to go and we're going to find that person that fell through the cracks. Because raise your hand if you have one that you reached out to and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I should probably go reach back out to you. So that's one, and this is how we kind of start to fill our funnel. With reach outs, if they say they were interested in a business at one point, they're not now, awesome. That's not a big deal. When you get ready for your next trip, I would love to help you, and I will, thank you for supporting my small business. I appreciate you letting me work more. This is awesome training for me. This is a forever learning uh, environment. And so thank you for whatever spot they choose to pick that you get to do the research. You get to come back to the Booker Circle, pick our brain, and learn more about that destination, the best way to travel that destination, and things like that. Um, so for that, for the do, I would definitely, they say reach out to 20 people, reach out to 10. Let's kind of set the bar to something realistically. So let's do, 5 reach outs for this week, for this next 7 days. And this doesn't have to be people from the past. This can be new people, and just build a conversation. We're just connecting with them, reconnecting with people. How have you been? You know, I know you were busy during the school year when we last talked. Have things calmed down? Certain things like that. Just starting a general conversation back up. I've learned is working really well with me right now. At some point we do ask the question, we're planting those seeds, and we're watching these babies grow. Apparently I have, very slow growing plants, but that's okay. One day they're all going to be ready for me to go out there and whatever I do with plants are ready to bloom.
Or you prune.
I will reharvest my carrots or something.
I
It's
keep
I
killing
have
my plants.
I have a vegetable garden. I don't have flowers. I have a vegetable garden, so I'm ready for my hot peppers to hurry up and produce. But that's okay. Um, so we are going to go through with each one of us and declare something. Before next Monday, I will. And whatever that is that you're working on in your business right now, it's gonna help soak that in, that we're doing this live in front of each other. And the minute that, whether it's last minute or whether it's this, each day you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I was in that Monday Zoom and I got really busy and I haven't, oh my gosh, Don's going to be so mad at me, or Teresa's going to call me out, or, things like that, in a very fun, a fun manner. But it's one of those, I read studies where when you get on face to face with people like this, your accountability, you tend to produce a lot better than, via messenger, the chats and texts and things like that, because you get motivated, your motivation stays up and your interest stays up. So before next Monday, and I'll follow up with this many people, or I will ask for a referral from past travel guests. I will post 3 times in my social media. I will call a client, via text or email. Most of my clients, they prefer email or text, but when I do present the quote, I like to do it via Zoom because, man, it's cool, and I love to see their reaction. You know, that's also too, if they don't give you a budget, is a really good way to see if you need to pull it back a little bit and be like, okay, so I see that might be a little more than you were willing to spend, and you're not obligated to commit at all. This isn't set in stone. Let's go back and rework this. Or if they say, oh my gosh, that's it, I was expecting a lot more. Well, don't worry, and you can recover on that. Don't worry, that's just kind of getting us started, getting those flights booked, getting those rooms blocked out and things like that. I would love to share more with you about excursions in this area, dining reservations, experience type things that, okay, now my trip's not done. I've got more to do. So doing that on Zoom will give you that kind of, you know, sign that I can do more, or I don't have to do as much, or they're like, oh my God, I love it. This is perfect. And they might need to tweak 1 or 2 things. And you're like, whew, okay, that was awesome. Cool. So, um, let's see. Okay, so who wants to start with their before next Monday? I will.
Before next
Oh,
Monday, I will learn how to put quotes together that look professional and free.
okay, so question on that. What is your
I
hang
have no
up with
idea how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Are you having trouble building the quote with a supplier, or are you having trouble
No, I'm
putting
not
it
having
in a
trouble building a quote with a supplier, but it's making them look like, because suppliers aren't, they're not putting it all together and making it a package, like
Pretty.
okay,
Rebo. Yes.
okay, like
Yeah.
pictures
Something like that.
and like a timeline and things like that?
Yeah, basically your itinerary, all your information, but without having to send it through the supplier. Does that make sense? From the
Yes.
supplier?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
today I sent out a quote from Travel Expressions, but I didn't like the way that it looked.
Okay, yeah. And that's something, I like to email those to myself. And then I know a lot of people work with Canva, Dawn's favorite,
I
I
but
don't
can't
know about
either.
any of those.
No,
yeah,
it's like,
but I keep mine pretty basic. I have my logo saved that I insert. I do everything, all my quotes are done on Google Docs. So they're black and white, they're pretty simple. I put my logo up at the top and then I put, you know, uh May trip Alaska 2026. So that I've got my heading and it automatically saves in my Google Docs every time I go in and update, and then anything that is not booked, like flight times or say transfers, I put in red. I put in a bold red, like TBD, to be determined. We haven't booked yet. We haven't gotten that far. But like travel impressions gives you your flights and, your accommodations, things like that. So I copy and paste it onto there. I'll pull pictures off of Google and I usually do a front of the hotel, um, a room view, a lobby view, and an amenity, whether it's the pool or bar or whatever that case may be. So I will write that down that we can work on that. How to make our quotes pretty. Okay, who's next?
I'll go. Um, for the next 7 days, I need to work on posting. I do really good for a couple of days. I'll post, and then I'll just start scrolling and I'll forget to post for several days. And I have content. It's just like I get busy looking at scrolling instead of stopping and posting. So I need to do better posting. And I have a personal page, and then I have a professional or business page. And so
Oh,
I haven't posted on either in a couple of days. And
Okay. One thing that I learned because I have both as well. I have a business page and a personal page. My personal is when I post a lot. I post a lot on it. On my
yeah.
business page, I will post some deals and things like that. And I
Mhm.
also use that as kind of my space for my clients to go and review. They leave me a review once they've traveled their trip. So that way other people that I'm inviting, they're like, oh, okay, they went there. She books this, she books that, and things like that. The business page that we had was right when mom first started, so it's set to private. And it doesn't really work that well for me. I try to keep it engaged because there are people, it's easy for me to go and tag on other groups or business pages. I can go and tag it. So I keeping that current is more work than I care to admit, but it keeps the cold market engaged in a sense. Those that aren't following me personally, that are following, they choose to follow the travel business looking for. Some people just follow these pages looking for a deal, and so I try to keep that in mind where I don't talk as personally as much on the business page. Um, Posting. So I think something else that we could work on would be setting up and doing like a 30-minute blitz. And that's something that we don't all have to do together. I can make a slide and share it. So that's something I will
Yeah.
work on as
Because with
well.
the with my full-time job, it's when I have to jump on there and look for something real quick, and I get back off, but then I'm like, ugh, later on, like I need to post something, I need to post something, I need some content, I need to find content real quick, and it's
Yeah.
I get
And that's,
sidetracked.
yeah. And sometimes coming up with the, you feel something good and then like me, posting first thing in the morning that's where my clients are. That's what they love to see and love to do. But then, I get these ideas at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, so I throw it in my notes, random things.
I have a whole bunch of those too.
Yeah.
And
So
I spent 10 minutes looking for it. I'm like, where did it go?
yeah, keeping it in your notes and then, making sure or writing it down, hey, throw that post out there. But I think that's a good one. And that's something that, we all try to post as much as we can and then you go
I know
blank for a while. So we
you
need
do
to
a
get
good
that,
job because I like looking at your stuff, but I'm like, oh, I get sidetracked.
yeah, we need to keep that algorithm up for you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Miss Dawn.
I will get my quote done. Somebody's wanting an MSC cruise to Alaska and
Yeah.
for in March. So I'm gonna get that done and I'm working on a prospect. So I declare out having a new business partner next week.
I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, MSC Poesia we did got to do a virtual tour of that one I did on one of the webinars. And yeah, that would be ideal. That would be a beautiful ship. Okay, so I've got about 7 minutes left. And real quick, Shonda, Kathy, hello. I remembered to record
Hi.
this.
Yay.
So we went through and I just did a reflect, do, and declare. And it's one of those kind of I taught them the 3x3 rule. Just, reach out to three people, three non-followers that have engaged, invite them to follow. Reach out to three past clients that you either did a quote for or talked to the business about, and it wasn't the right time, it was too busy, and just reconnecting with them, not even about the business or the travel, just checking in, rebuilding, restarting, reigniting that conversation. And then reaching out to three warm prospects that are interested but kind of haven't went one way or the other. So and then we did a declare before next Monday, I will, and it's follow up, get referrals from travel guests, get those posts on your socials from any trips that they've taken. Um, whether it's about posting, follow-ups, um, things like that. And then just on the reflect part, making note of that, what you're going to do. And that's something that you can go back and look at each day this week. But yeah, so they, they've come, Marissa's wanting to learn how to, you know, doing your quotes on ALG and, Royal and things like that. They build it out for you, but it's not as eye-catching and it's more technical than it is inviting. So we're going to work on how to transfer those quotes to something more personable to our own travel brands. So we're going to kind of work on that. And then I'm going to work on shortening instead of doing a power hour, um, doing like a 30-minute blitz for those, you've got full-time jobs or you don't want to. There's a lot of, in the power hours, if you've done one, there is a lot of downtime. And I've, you get in, you move real quick, and then you move on. Uh, Again, doing it first thing in the morning and then stepping away from social media, letting it work for you throughout the day. Checking that post, checking that engagement. Okay, cool. It's cranking up. It's awesome. And doing those midday check backs just keeps that one post, the algorithm boosting. So those are a couple of things that we're gonna work on. I let them know I'm gonna do this for the next 5 Mondays. Um, just to test it out because there's so much hype on Ray Higdon, and so which is really exciting too. And I think this is just a good idea for, in-person accountability, versus in the chats. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to do this. Now that we've all seen each other and we've declared what we're going to do, we get to hold each other accountable. So if y'all have anything that y'all want to declare that y'all are going to do by next Monday, I would love to hear what you're working on.
I'm just gonna put my website in. I told you guys my husband built me a website. He finally finished it today, so I'd love to see what you guys think about it.
Oh, yes.
As for me, I'll be very honest, I am struggling like the hardest time I've ever struggled in my life with getting back in this I guess DMO. For some reason I've got, Teamsy was working for me for so long and now I get on Teamsy and I'm just like the same people, there's probably 2,000 people on there, but I feel like I'm only seeing the same people over and over again. And I'm just like, I gotta find something new, something that was working for me once upon a time. I don't know. Anybody have any ideas?
Get other social media, not just Facebook and Instagram. Like, dude, go on to TikTok, go on to LinkedIn. Have you tried any of those?
At the CLIA training last week, they said that a lot of them, a lot of those, that we had a lot of really seasoned and experienced agents in there, and they said LinkedIn is working really well for them as far as promoting. Uh, Even a couple of them said both sides of the business, so that's how I knew they were with IntelliTravel.
And I have the premier, the highest level of that, so I can, message hundreds of people if I want to. What I was using it for is I went and joined a couple of like UAE places, and I was just kind of putting it out there to see if people knew about it. But yeah, I do need to because they were just talking about that on Ray Higdon too, about how if you've got the premium account that you can just message people. But I guess I just kind of stop and go like I don't know what path to take to find the right people.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm getting back into the swing of my DMO. I went so hard in March and then my brain was fried.
Same.
So I'm
January,
there.
February was my months, and then since then I've just kind of been like, ah.
Yeah. So, all right, Miss Kathy, I've got like 2 minutes left before it's gonna kick us out of here.
Well, I missed the beginning, of course, but like you and I talked this weekend, which was fabulous. I need to get my DMO set now that my life is kind of, well, I can't say it's settling down. I'm going to leave tomorrow for 3 days, but for my teacher stuff, but I'm working on it, trying to think of how I'm going to process it. And, I will get with you later to kind of bounce some ideas off of you. So I mean, I'm got it. So like I said, you and I had a lot of conversations that I appreciate. So processing this for this.
Yeah,
So.
and I've got some stuff to send over to you too. So,
Perfect.
yay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
glad I
Well,
caught you for a little bit.
yeah. Does anybody have anything else before we get out of here?
One other app that I was going to mention is Lemon8. Have you ever heard of that?
I did. My TikTok is linked to that. I still don't know what it is, but I have
It's
I
kind
have
of like
people.
Pinterest, but it's better because there's no pop-ups. It's just pictures, and you can slide left or right to look at other pictures if they post more than one, kind of like Instagram. And then
Yeah.
underneath the pictures, they can have comments and stuff, and you can comment back and forth. You can talk to them back and forth. And they have everything from travel to recipes, just like Pinterest. So you may want to look into that because I like it because there's no pop-ups like Pinterest. I'll go find a recipe on Pinterest, and then there's all these pop-ups, and I can't see the recipe. So I like Lemon8. It's very easy to search and use, and I even get some pictures from off there to post on my social media.
I'll dig back into that.